Dear students, we are continuing with the same topic, that is radio receiver and television. Almost we are at the end of this particular topic. In the last period, in the last week, we studied monochromatic and chromatic television receivers with the help of block diagrams, where we studied that how television receiver is tuned with incoming transmitter frequency by using super heterodyne principle. How it processes it, how it processes it, demodulates the signal, separates audio and video signal from each other, along with the separation of horizontal and vertical sync and blanking pulses, so as to scan the bright spot on the television screen from left to right and also from top to bottom in two fields, so as to frame one picture frame, and such a 25 frames are scanned in 1 second to give illusion of the picture raster on the television screen, which is being snapped by means of a camera at the transmitting end. Similarly, audio signal will be reproduced in the form of acoustic sound signal through audio channel from the speaker. Now we are aware how to watch the television, how to produce the picture on the television screen technically. Friends, there are some aspects which are to be considered, which are related with the picture qualities. For which picture we are going to say the picture quality is better. What precautions are to be taken to watch the television when we are watching the picture on the television screen in our house. All these aspects are considering in the title known as qualities of the picture. The first picture quality is the aspect ratio. Friends, aspect ratio is considered to be as a ratio of width upon height of the television screen. It is always maintained to be equal to 4:3. This is because to view the best panoramic view, panoramic effect, artistic appreciation, and best viewing, it is possible provided when the width upon height ratio of the screen is maintained to be equal to 4:3. So why this ratio is kept as a 4:3? Because of our binocular vision of eye. A pair of eye can move vertically less rather than horizontal. Friends, for this particular aspect, perform a kind of a simple aspect, and that is try to perform the motion of eyeballs in horizontal plane and also in a vertical plane. If you perform the same action, you will observe that motion of eyeball in a horizontal plane becomes easy rather than motion of the eyeballs in a vertical plane. So that's why width is maintained more than that of the height. So the ratio of width upon height, maybe it is a television screen, maybe it is a picture theater screen, it is always maintained to be equal to 4:3. Friends, I remember the ratio is 4:3. It is the ratio of width upon height of the television screen. It is always maintained to be equal to 4:3. Aspect ratio, the best viewing, panoramic effect, artistic appreciation is possible if picture raster has a rectangular format with the width to height ratio, that is aspect ratio, which is 4:3. This is due to binocular vision of pair of eye in a vertical plane is restricted rather than the horizontal plane. Means motion of eyeball in a vertical plane is less than that of in a horizontal plane. Also, retina has a greater resolution along the width rather than that of height. So due to these two reasons, aspect ratio of the television screen is maintained to be equal to 4:3. You have setting on your remote control to set this particular aspect ratio and also the resolution. If try to change the resolution of the picture by using the remote control unit and observe what are the changes you are going to observe in the picture qualities of the television screen. This is a kind of a small exercise for you. What is the exercise? That is, take a remote control and go to setting the resolution. There are three options which are provided. Change those particular resolutions so that aspect ratio is automatically changed. If that is changed, try to observe what are the changes which are going to be located on that of the picture raster of the television screen. So friends, this is all about the aspect ratio. Then second one is brightness. What do you mean by brightness? We are well experienced with the brightness, but we can't define it. So that's why we can say brightness is the overall or average intensity of the illumination to determine the background light level in the produced picture. Once the picture is produced on the television screen, the background intensity illumination of the light radiation, that is a luminance signal which is coming from the transmitter, this produces the luminous intensity in the background light level of the picture which is going to be generated on the screen. That luminous intensity of the background of the picture is called as the brightness. Brightness control can be varied to obtain the optimum average illumination of the same. Means you have now remote control. In previous days, there are potentiometers, trimmers, which are used to vary the brightness or the background intensity of the light of the picture. Nowadays, on remote only this facility is made available. Go to the brightness and try to adjust, increase or decrease, and observe what is the change in the picture that taking place. Set the brightness to the optimum average level which feels better for our eyes. So that's what we can call it as, it is the brightness. The next one is contrast. Contrast is the difference in light intensity between the black and white parts of the picture over and above the brightness level. Friends, we already defined the brightness level. Now, light intensity difference between black parts and white parts of the picture above and below the brightness. Brightness level is a boundary level which is associated with the background light. Above that particular level and below that particular level, whatever the light intensity existing, difference between that, we can call it as it is a contrast. The contrast range should be great enough to produce a strong picture with bright white and dark black for extreme intensity value. Means one should adjust the contrast so that the bright parts are seems to be white and dark parts are seems to be black. Accordingly, one can adjust the contrast. It can be varied by contrast control. Again, same thing. On your remote, this facility is available. You go to the contrast of the picture quality or picture adjustment level. Adjust it so that the contrast should not be too much or it should not be too less. So that your eye can resolve all the components very easily. Accordingly, by trial and error method, one can adjust the contrast level. Much contrast makes the picture hard. If contrast is more, picture becomes hard. And if contrast is less, it gives the impression of washed picture. So the contrast should be not so much and also not so less. In between that, you have to adjust that to produce the strong picture to be observed. Now next one is the viewing distance. Viewing distance plays a very vital role to watch the picture in our home. And that is, viewing distance is nothing but the distance from television screen which we are maintaining to watch the television. It should not be so large that I can't resolve the picture details, and it should not be so small that picture element becomes separately visible. Means at what distance we have to sit to watch the television. The distance should not be so close that all the picture elements can be separately visible, and it should not be so long that I can't resolve the picture details. So that particular distance one should maintain it. This condition will be obtained when vertical picture size subtends an angle of 15 degree. What is the angle? Angle is 15 degree. With the eye. Means your eye should make an angle of 15 degree to the television screen, so that a proper distance is going to be maintained. The distance depends upon habit that varies from person to person and lies between 3 to 8 times the picture height. One has to look to the height of the television screen or picture height, multiply by 3 or 8. Minimum multiply by 3, maximum 8, and choose your position to watch the television. People should prefer distance of 5 times picture height. That is the better one. In between 3 and 8, 5 times the picture height is a better distance. While viewing television, small light should be kept on the room. In the room, to reduce overall contrast. This prevents strain to eye and less fatigue. Means the distance, average distance is 5 times the height of the television screen, which is capable to make an angle of 15 degree with the television screen, so that our eyes can resolve the picture information better and watch the television comfortably. Friends, these are the picture qualities to get the good quality picture as far as monochrome picture is being considered. But friends, nowadays almost all television transmission is color transmission or chromatic transmission. For chromatic transmission, along with these four picture qualities, some three more picture qualities are going to be introduced along with these. So that for chromatic transmission reception also one can get the better picture quality. So friends, I remember these are the four aspects which are to be remembered while watching the monochrome television system. But for chromatic or color picture, in addition to these four, some three additional factors are going to be introduced. That is, a color picture has additional following characteristics, and that is a luminescence. Luminescence, it is the amount of light intensity perceived by the eye regardless of the color. म्हणजे irrespective of the color, how much amount of intensity of the light our eye perceives. That is known as luminance. Luminance signal is transmitted along with the color difference signal, as which I already studied in the color television receiver. So that luminance intensity which is perceived by the human eye, irrespective of the red, green and blue color, which are the basic colors being used for the television transmission. In black and white picture, better light parts have more luminance than that of dark area. If monochrome television is there, black and white picture better light parts have more luminance than the if picture is black, luminance is less. If picture is bright, the luminance is more. Depending upon the response of eye, monochrome TV, red color will appear as a dark black, yellow color will appear as a white, and light blue color will appear as a gray. Friends, red, green and blue color are the basic colors which are used for the purpose of television transmission. So that's why if red color will be converted into black, yellow color will be converted into white, and blue color will be converted into gray. So this is what the meaning of the luminance means. Next one is a hue. It is a predominant color of spectral light. That is, the color of any object distinguished by its hue. Green leaves have green hue and red tomato have red hue. Means that particular color appears as it is. That is what it's called as its hue. Examples quoted here are the green leaves looks green because scientifically it reflects the wavelength corresponds to green colored light by absorbing all the light radiations. So to produce that particular green hue. So tomato looks red because it has the ability to reflect the wavelength associated with the red colored light radiation by absorbing all the light radiations. So that's why hue of that particular tomato looks like a red. This hue is a result of different wavelength of the spectral radiations and are perceived by the optical nerve of the eye. And last one is the saturation. It is a spectral purity of the color light. So the color should be as pure as it is. As a rare occurrence, single hue color alone is indication of how little color is diluted by white. Means suppose particular color is there, it should be so saturated that if you add a small white into color into that, it is going to be get diluted. That particular spectral purity of the color light is known as saturation. Saturation maximum color light. Even you add a small white aspect into that, that color is going to be get diluted. A fully saturated color has no white light. If the color is fully saturated, it has no white light. If you add a little bit white, it is going to be diluted. Its color will change. The hue and saturated color combinedly forms the chrominance signal. It does not have brightness information. So, for chromatic picture observation, 8 qualities are to be deciding. One is aspect ratio, second one is the brightness, third one is the contrast, next one is viewing distance, hue, saturation and luminance. All these 8 factors makes the color picture qualities better. Whereas aspect ratio, brightness, contrast and only viewing distance make the monochrome picture qualities watching on the television screen better. Friends, that's all about the picture qualities, and also that's all about the radio receiver and that of television communication. Friends, here we are completing 4 topics from your syllabus. Next time we will meet to study the topic number 5, known as telephone communication.